So you'll hear politicians talk about having a mandate, and rarely do they actually have the kind of landslide that says, you know what, voters are overwhelmingly behind them. But Democratic Governor Jared Polis was reelected by nearly 20%. If it was Little League, they would have mercy ruled it. Polis has a mandate. He also may have his eyes on the White House. Politics guy Marshall Zellinger looks closer at a few policy statements the governor made during his 12-minute inaugural speech.
Putting on an inauguration takes lots of conducting and a reminder to be smiling. There's more pomp and circumstance than there is policy.
We're going to tackle crime head on.
But there was policy, an issue that both Democrats and Republicans talked about on the campaign trail.
Yes, by holding criminals accountable, but also by preventing crime before it happens to make our neighborhoods safer.
No, this is not a reference to Minority Report and predicting crime before it happens. The governor has proposed using another $18 million on top of $15 million set aside last year for grant money. Money for nonprofits, mental health centers, and law enforcement to address areas where crime is high. Money for law enforcement recruiting and training. And money to hire officers who look like the people they serve. Here's another policy statement from Polis's speech.
We're very excited about implementing free preschool for every family that wants it this coming fall.
4 years ago, Polis was pushing universal kindergarten. Twice today, he mentioned preschool. So let's give it the proper context. Voters in 2020 passed Proposition EE, an increased tax on tobacco products. That new tax will fund the bulk of universal preschool. This is Polis's last inauguration, unless he sets his sights higher, like Reverend Dr. James D. Peters Jr. alluded to during his invocation.
I have watched as the federal government has taken people who are doing a great job where they are in state government to work for the federal government. But let me warn you, he is our governor. So my message to Washington is back off. Don't try.
We're going to hold that nodding of the head against him at one point. There was one section where Polis was forward-looking about lowering taxes and lowering transportation costs. Let's talk about that real quick. For the last 4 years, what's happened? The state income tax is lower, but not because of Polis. Voters approved that in November. On the campaign trail, he talked about lowering property taxes. No, most of us saw higher property taxes, but he did help lower the amount of the increase. He also mentioned lower transportation costs. And Kyle, you and I have talked extensively about the 2-cent gas fee that was delayed and will start again in April. There's the 27-cent delivery fee and the 30-cent ride share fee. That doesn't sound lower, but the one transportation cost that did go down last year and this year temporarily is our vehicle registration fee. So I guess 1 out of 4 we can say is lower.
As long as you remember to opt out of the $29 parks pass.
There's that too.
Try to tack onto your registration if you don't opt out. I'll say, one of the nice things about these inaugurals is that they kind of come before the heavy politics start. There's always that nice moment of unity where the governor and the person who lost the race for governor appear together again for the first time since the campaign. Nice moment of unity.
Did not happen today. I checked, and as far as I know, Heidi Ganahl wasn't even invited. Electeds are invited, and she used to be a CU regent. All the CU regents were invited, but she is no longer a CU regent. Walker Stapleton was there today, and if memory serves, he was there 4 years ago, and I know he was at the party that was held that evening 4 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, there goes my favorite part. All right, Marshall, thank you.